Welcome back, and these are the stories making our e-news and reviews for this week.
Jumping up on the island, take it out, and go on your own.
A grand Easter weekend in Ocho Rios, courtesy of Smirnoff. A soca invasion for the most part, with a big dancehall bash in the midst of it all. On Easter Sunday at James Bond Beach, the annual staging of Smirnoff Beach Juve was the usual rave.
Smirnoff is all about experiences, and this is just one that just never fails.
Thousands surrendered to musical stylings. From Walshy Fire, who made his first solo appearance in Jamaica. Since being a part of Major Lazer, Richie Ras was also in the mix, DJ Smoke, and others.
We've been investing in the entire season because we believe it is a great opportunity for tourists to come to the country. For everybody who live here, let us have a great time and expand the season.
Add the paint, and the real madness began.
I love Jamaica. I come here all the time. This is my home.
How are you enjoying yourself?
Good, great.
Hello,
Hey,
and where are you from?
South Korea.
What brings you here?
Good right now,
My friend lives in Jamaica. That man is good.
How long have you been coming to Beach Juve? And
It's my second year.
how are you enjoying yourself?
I love it.
What keeps you coming back?
The vibe is just different from the everyday party. It's just fabulous. I'm enjoying myself. I can be free. And I love the vibes. I love the people. I love the liquor. It's really fun.
All this topped off by a high-energy performance by Kess the Band.
Yo, it's amazing to be in Jamaica. You know, I always tell people there's a unique energy, and it's always inspiring when I come here and I stay for a few days and just vibe the place, you know. So good to be here, man.
Coming from Trinidad, the mecca of the carnival, and then you come to Jamaica, a place that has warmly, openly welcomed the soca music. I mean, it's a joy to hear people sing every song that Kess does. You know, Bungie Garland, Machel Montano, Fair Lines. Jamaicans love soca music, and in Trinidad we never got that. You know, we don't get that feedback. But coming here now, we've seen it for about 3,000, 4,000 people strong out there.
Later that night, a sharp contrast to scenes from James Bond Beach. Margaritaville in the town square was a dance settings, with hundreds of fans on the beach to celebrate with Idonia at his birthday bash.
Idonia, big up yourself.
The party is stupendous.
Cha-Ching, Popcorn, Teflon, and the Charlie Blacks are just some of the artists who were in attendance to give the artist a strength on stage and off. On Easter Sunday at Fantasy Beach in Prairie, the third staging of St. Anne Carnival.
The first was good, the second was excellent, the third, great.
The Caribbean Queen Alison Hines returned to the island after a 3-year hiatus, and a triumphant return it was. Her hits of Then and Now resonated very well with the modest audience.
Really awesome about it, and I really want to pick up the patrons, and Alison Hines did a great job.
Interviews with Alison Hines and Kess on their trip to the island in this broadcast of Onstage. Stay tuned. He is only rivaled by soca artist Super Blue for the most Soca Monarch titles, both having 7 each. Machel, though, has the most consecutive wins.
I just do it like a boss.
The Like a Boss artist has held the Paul Monarch title since 2011, with double titles in 2012 and 2013. But as it relates to the 22-year-old annual Trinidadian competition, where competing is concerned, Machel feels it's time for him to call it quits.
Soca, I have grown up, being a competitor in Calypso competitions over the year. I also competed in the Caribbean Song Festival, and in recent times I competed in the Soca Monarch competition. and you have lots of trophies, lots of awards. But for me, now, in the great words of Capital, music is a mission, not a competition. For me, I have coined it as it's more about cooperation more than competition. I think this is a time for soca music to advance, and me being one of the leaders, one of the foundation youths of soca who grew up, in this industry, now being hailed as, one of the kings of soca. I think it's time for me to step out of the competition zone and really start to cooperate with younger artists and show them some of the skills that I have learned over the years, but more or less collaborate, to make an imprint or an impression on the world as soca music moving together as one, as a whole. I think it's important for us to, cross more barriers right now and cross over the music to a wider audience.
More from Machel in this episode of Onstage. The artiste made his third Pandemonium appearance on the island on Thursday night. Stay tuned.
So I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
Spend time and make a good song, and there is no limit to where it may go. Take urban pop artist Omi, for example. His single Cheerleader was released in 2012 and became a moderate hit in Jamaica. 3 years later, and now the song is breaking new ground internationally.
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
A remix of the track by Hamburg producer and DJ Felix Jean has thrust Omi and his Cheerleader into uncharted waters. A huge hit in Europe, with downloads and plays in the hundreds of millions. The success of the single was topped off with a major appearance on the Denmark X Factor. The single has even gotten a brand new video. Could the US be the next big market for Omi and his Cheerleader? If so, Onstage will have that story.
She is always right there when I need her.
Alright, so those are the stories making our e-news and reviews this week. Stay with us when we come back. A major international collaboration has thrust Shaggy back into the mainstream. The bombastic singer talks about that, plus comments he made about being a lesbian. A coming together of the Caribbean through soca music. Soca stars and Walshy Fire respond. Busy Signal follows in Shaggy's footsteps and starts a foundation in aid of his parish's hospital. And our Pondy Road 2015 summary. But first, videos making our video stage after the break.
What if when me say watch out for this, you never watch out for that? Me get the blessing from the Father up at top. You never know.